very well received. To your requests for help as the ant did to the grasshopper. Latanya didn't understand why so many of her friends didn't return her phone calls. Her friends complained to each other that she was awfully quick to bum a ride or ask for another favor or even money, but never hesitated to say no when one of them needed help from her. She owed every one of them a small amount of money, but consistently claimed she couldn't afford it when a friend was short of cash, and asked if Latanya could pick up the tab for a fast food burger. Many of them eventually became ex-friends. Which of the preceding difficulties are big ones for you? Verbal working memory, using the mind's voice. The next or fourth executive function to develop in children that facilitates self-control is the ability to talk to yourself, especially in your mind. As kids, we do this publicly. We narrate our play, talk to ourselves when alone, and weigh our decisions out loud. As every parent knows, kids can be pretty free with their commentary, even though their remarks may not be too flattering. Gradually, children begin to talk to themselves silently, though they may still move their lips. By ages 7 to 9, they suppress even those movements, and now this voice occurs entirely in their mind. From this point on, the voice in our head will accompany us through all our waking hours until we die. How verbal working memory guides us. I also refer to this as the mind's voice. The capacity to converse with yourself, especially mentally, in concert with the capacity to sense to yourself, brings about another form of self-regulation, and with it a number of important features for self-control. 1. It allows us to describe and contemplate an event or situation. Let's say you come home from work and say hello to your roommate, and he doesn't answer. Nonverbal working memory might tell you that the look on his face indicates he's not happy. With verbal working memory, you might put words to the way he could be feeling. He's angry. But that's still a global and vague sense of the situation. You might then use your mind's voice to look for more information by asking yourself specific questions, such as, is he angry at me, at his girlfriend, his boss, or someone else? Describing the situation to yourself, and even interrogating yourself with such questions, gets you much more specific information than just a mental image might achieve, and could head you away from a hasty, what's wrong with you, and toward a more nuanced and socially sensitive reply. You might say to yourself, he's not glaring at me, he's just stomping around the room looking mad. Last time, it turned out he was ticked off that he had missed a short putt while golfing that morning, or had to work that weekend. 2. It makes problem solving possible. With private speech, we can interrogate ourselves about our past to figure out how to solve a current dilemma. In trying to figure out how best to respond to your aggravated roommate, you might ask yourself, what happened last time I assumed he was mad at me? This introspection might reveal that you picked a fight, which your roommate was all too happy to engage in so he could take out his ire on someone. Your conclusion might then be that you need to find a way to ask him what's wrong without being either defensive or offensive. 3. We can formulate rules and plans. We need verbal working memory, our mind's voice, to examine how things went in the past, and extract from that rules for making sure they go well in the future. Our self-questioning and other self-talk allows us to weigh pros and cons based on our past experience, to talk to ourselves about what we could change to improve the future, and to set out steps toward a goal. Our rules might involve diet and other lifestyle matters, social conduct, spending or saving habits, and more. Often, we make our self-statements and rules external and easier to follow by writing them down on a to-do list to help us remember and use later. Eventually, we go further, generate a hierarchy of rules about rules, called meta-rules. An example of a meta-rule in government might be the procedure required for enacting new legislation. In a school, it might be that the criteria for expelling a student must be approved by the school board. An example from daily life is the 6 well-known steps to solving a problem. A. State the problem specifically. B. List as many solutions as you can. C. Critique each one for its utility. D. Select the one most likely to achieve your goal. E. Implement it. And F. Evaluate its success. They are simply rules used to discover other, more specific rules that apply in a specific situation. 4. We can follow rules we are given. Using nonverbal and verbal working memory together, we call up mental pictures of similar situations from the past.